the day my job became obsolete. Have you ever thought about what would happen if the average person suddenly became more intelligent? I mean, what industries would take a hit? I had an experience that made me wonder about this myself. A few years back, I was working as a customer service representative for a major telecommunications company. I loved my job at first. I enjoyed helping people, but over time, I started to see a pattern. Customers would call in with simple issues that seemed like they could easily be solved with a little common sense or research on their part. One day, I had a particularly memorable call from a guy named Mike. He called in, frustrated because his internet was down. As we talked, it became clear that he hadn't even checked to see if his router was plugged in. I guided him through a few basic troubleshooting steps, and after a few minutes, he realized the cord had come loose. He laughed, but also expressed a hint of embarrassment, saying, "I should have known better." This incident stuck with me. I realized that so many of the problems I face daily were due to lack of basic knowledge or the willingness to look things up. As I reflected more on that incident, I started to wonder, what if everyone became more knowledgeable? What if the average person truly understood how to troubleshoot their tech problems, or even things like financial literacy? Fast forward a few months, I attended a seminar on technology and customer interaction. The speaker discussed how artificial intelligence could handle most of the basic inquiries that people, like me, spent hours addressing. He mentioned that as people become more informed, they would naturally seek smarter, faster solutions, things AI could provide much better than a person. That night, I couldn't shake the thought, if everyone became more intelligent, would my job even exist? I imagine a world where people didn't need to call a service line anymore because they could solve their issues through apps or online tutorials. A few weeks later, my company introduced a new AI chatbot for customer service support. At first, I was excited, thinking it would make my job easier. But as time went on, I noticed fewer and fewer calls coming in. I was spending more time on breaks than actually helping customers. It was surreal to think that a tool could potentially eliminate not just my job, but an entire industry segment. Soon enough, I found myself having to pivot. I started learning more about digital marketing and content creation because I knew that the customer service field might not be sustainable for long. The company downsized, and I was one of the many employees let go after the chatbot proved to be a cheaper, more efficient option. In the end, I found a new path that I actually enjoy, but it was a wake-up call. It made me realize that knowledge is power, but it can also disrupt entire industries. I learned the importance of adapting and staying ahead of the curve. You never know when you might need to pivot your career. So, if the average person became more intelligent, I believe customer service would be among the first industries to collapse. Technology is changing rapidly, and it's up to us to keep up. What would you have done in my situation? Have you ever had to pivot your career due to changes in your industry? Let me know in the comments below.